Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. For any news or daily events to do with Yu-Gi-Oh information, please have a look at my channel and please like the content if you've enjoyed it. Today we're looking at a brand new card which is from Rise of the Duelist and it's called Gaia the Magical Knight. It's a level 7 light warrior effect monster with 2300 attack and 2100 defense. This card is always treated as a Gaia the Fierce Knight card. If you control no monsters or your opponent controls a monster with 2300 or more attack, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon one level 5 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. You can only use this effect of Gaia the Magical Knight once per turn. So the purpose of this card is, I know it's kind of promoted a bit earlier, but it's to try and make the Gaia deck a little bit more flexible. Some of the older cards didn't have effects which would enable themselves to kind of be summoned that easily. If you think the original Gaia, the Fierce Knight, is a 2300 attack monster, same stat line as basically this card, but it's a vanilla normal monster, meant that you had to kind of sacrifice 2 cards in order to tribute summon it, or you'd have to, that's kind of the old way of having to play it. Or eventually you could kind of use things like Reasoning or Monster Gate if you were lucky enough to kind of find cards like that or draw into those. But that was very much down to luck. Even if you look at, I think a little bit later on within, I remember it being used against, I think it was Gansley of the Big Five in the Noah's Ark section of the Battle City tournament. Where Yugi used, I think it was Swift Gaia, the Fierce Knight, but that could only be normal summoned straight to the field if that was the only card you had in hand. And the new support basically enables you to summon some of these cards even if they have attack reduction or a few limitations to them. This really doesn't have too much of a limitation, although it does require your opponent to either have something stronger than this card, or for you to potentially have no cards on your field. But I don't see that as a problem, as you're able to revive. Essentially, it's meant to go for either Curse of Dragon or the new effect version of Curse of Dragon. So you can obviously fuse into one of the fusion monsters. This is supposed to be generic support for it, and I think it's quite decent for what it does. I would say the kind of downside comes from its summoning requirements, because if you don't have what's relevant for it, it could be just a dead card in your hand. What do you guys think of this card? Is this something you consider using? Do you think this is good for the deck, or do you think this is kind of a wasted slot within their support? Whatever you think, leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe.